Oh, you do own it. I don't own it.
I do own it.
It is pretty. I saw
It is pretty
today because after I finished it, I like to go watch reviews and read reviews to like get more footing. And somebody had like the UK edition, and that one is really pretty.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay, hi. We're here for the Shelf This Book Club for November.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're just like for November. Which Lizzie chose the book for. I think I linked you today, so I think I did all the right things down below. But yeah, we're gonna discuss The Cloisters by Katy Hayes, which was a very interesting pick. I think upon premise, we were all very intrigued, so I'm curious what everyone ended up thinking, I guess.
Yeah.
I just want to say before I might make you pitch the book, but I did find this book like very, when you suggested it and even reading it, like I felt like this fit you so well because it felt like your special interests.
Yeah.
I think like even me going into it, like those weren't my special interests, but I was like, oh, Lizzie's into this.
I was into it.
Of Shelf This Book Club is you are supposed to pick something that you're excited for and interested in. So,
yeah,
good things. Martine's here. Hi, Martine. Hello. Beep boop to Ruby.
Beep boop.
And Adriana's here. Do you want to pitch the book? Give a
sure. I can try. So
I'm all for just like
we've got this sticker is printed. It's a book club sticker, like a Read with Jenna, and it is printed on the cover. Sorry, I just got distracted by that.
Boo.
It is a like dark academia mystery-ish set in New York. We've got our girly. Her name is Anne, and she moves to New York. And she lives in Morningside Heights, which is where I used to live. And she thinks she's going to be working at the Met, but she actually ends up working at the Met Cloisters, which is like uptown, a kind of branch of the Met that I love. Different. Yeah.
Similar but different.
Different museum. Owned like technically the same like company. Not that I think it's a nonprofit, but like different place, fully different location.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I feel like no plot happens for the first 50%. So it's like really hard to like say what the plot is without spoiling it.
Yeah. I mean, that's fair. I do feel like you said what the setting is, which I feel like is really what the author was passionate about. So let's talk about ratings, and then we can start talking about what actually happened in the book.
Yeah.
When did you finish this?
When did I finish it? I finished it a while ago.
Okay.
I finished it in November.
Really late here.
Yeah.
I finished it today.
Good for you. Yep, I finished it at the end of November.
Danielle said she also felt like this was a Lizzie book.
Yeah.
So. That makes me happy that it is what you chose. You want me to go first? Because I do already know what you rated it. Okay. I gave it 2 stars.
Okay.
But like I said, I didn't hate it. I just thought it was like kind of a nothing burger. Like it was bland. So that's where my 2-star kind of comes.
Yeah. I gave it 4 stars. I feel like I'm gonna agree with all of your critiques.
Yeah.
Like I think I'm gonna just agree with you, but like I liked it.
Before we came on, I was like, I need you to know before we even start that I fear that this is going to be one of those discussions where I did not hate the book, but everything I say is going to seem negative. So, Martine gave it 4 stars also, and she finished it a while ago.
Yeah.
2.5. Fair. I think
more ratings, please.
I don't know if she's still here or not, but here we go. Gave it 4 stars, but I was Also very excited about an Eastern Washington protagonist. Yeah. I definitely think that this is one of those things where you have to be specifically interested in what this is about, either the museum art thing or the tarot thing, to like have the intrigue. So I feel like that's where I struggled, that I was like minorly interested in the tarot, but then like as it played out, I didn't necessarily like it in this book. And I'm generally not interested in New York and generally like not interested in the art thing. So again, I think this is like the perfect pick for this, because that's why, like, I want to try things that I usually would be like, I'm not into that, and try it. And that just sometimes lends to it not working. Yeah. Pretty middle of the road for me, but I wish I had read it in 1 or 2 goes. Instead, I took a few weeks off. Yeah, that's fair. I don't think there was enough of like an intrigue to like, it was a little boring. So if you stopped and then tried to start again, it could have been like, did I forget the plot? When really,
or there just wasn't one.
Yeah. I thought it was so nothing. I actually did hate the book, but I know it's not for me. I gave it 2. I was a little less passionate behind the thought. Hello. Today, just vibes. I didn't need much to happen.
I'm on the same page. I was really into the setting. Yeah. Because I like have a really personal connection with it. And I was really into the research elements of it, of like them doing the work. Like that's like kind of, I mean, I talk about like wanting to go back to school, and like that's kind of like that kind of like historical digging is like what I want to do.
Like, well, that's like I so get that. Like I so get that this being like a mostly atmospheric book, like is for people, which is why I don't want to just like say that it was bad. But again, like you are interested in, you thought it was atmospheric, but you are interested in the atmosphere. And like, so I think the opposite is like, I'm not interested in the atmosphere. So it didn't. Martine Ruby said, I am interested in museums and tarot though. And there was still no intrigue for me.
I'm actually kind of surprised that Ruby, that you hated it as much as you did, because I feel like we usually have pretty similar.
I want to take a poll on dark academia. I know we've all talked about this before, but like who generally does and does not like dark academia? Because I usually say that I don't, but there's like a few books that I love that are. And by the only one I can think of is Catherine House. But generally, I don't like dark academia.
I generally like dark academia. I just think that like it can be done in a really like tropey, like I just think it can be done really poorly, but I generally like it.
Prestigious people, which I think that this book suffered from in the dark academia realm. I thought that Anne like really wanted to feel important, which just like isn't a trait that I admire. The like I want these people to like me, or like I want to fit in with these people. I was struggling with that with her specifically. I also wanted to mention that I really felt like Anne was not a good main character. Like the book didn't feel like Anne mattered at all. They were using Anne to like tell the story of everybody else, which is kind of why I also was just like, I didn't feel like this was executed correctly. Like I really felt like, what I don't care about, like, what does Anne matter?
I feel like that's interesting though, because I think Anne as a character holds this really unique space where she's like, we do get the sense of like, what does she matter? But she wants to matter so bad. And that like kind of drives things a little bit.
Yeah. I think people could relate to her in the same of like they also would be someone who wanted to go get this position that she wanted to get and be in this place. It was just an interesting choice of main character in my opinion.
My headphones just disconnected, so I need to switch something over.
I'm gonna read
can't hear me right now.
I would also like to say I read this in between some pretty low-rated books, which may not have changed my views on this book, but also totally could have. That's fair. I think like reading anything after a 5-star makes it hard, and then reading anything after a 1-star makes something seem amazing. That's just life.
Yeah.
I think generally I do, but I like a clear message. But I like a clear message it's portraying, and I don't know if I got the one for this one much. But I like the more nuanced atmosphere. Sometimes it's too heavy-handed.
I agree with it. I felt like it was like also a very kind of like it was vibey, but it also wasn't too. I want to say it was a more like realistic portrayal. It wasn't too romanticized.
She didn't pick a genre, which I think maybe is what Danielle's saying. She struggled with, like, wanted it to be more of something. Like a stronger, like, this is what we're doing here. I don't know. I generally like more academic settings. So that's what I'm wondering too, because you do like dark academia, and I think Martine does, and then Adriana also rated it like decently high, and I think that she likes that setting traditionally. I love The Secret History, but I haven't liked any other dark academia, I don't think. Nothing can measure up. Anne was so nothing, I agree, Billy. The thing is, I hated The Secret History. It was okay. It dragged in a lot of parts for me. I wanted to love it because I like tarot cards. I think I might have missed the drag because I think that the lull in the book was right when I switched from reading it with my eyes to the audio. So like the switch was enough for me to like not feel it as hard, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. My preference for dark academia is the critique versus the atmosphere. Okay. So you don't like the atmosphere. I'm like circling back to the last message.
I think what Danielle is saying is that like the draw for dark academia for her is the like critique of academia. Like it's not
not like
the romanticization of the vibes. Yeah.
Okay.
Though she did say that like this one had an atmosphere that was a little more nuanced and not as romanticized.
Yeah. Oh, here. Like I'm not one to want the romanticized vibes. I like more of the realistic atmosphere, like Lizzie said. Yeah. That makes sense. I do feel like there's certain people who just like admire academia so much. Yeah, I don't know where I'm going with that. It's not me. The longer I've been out of college, the less I enjoy an academic setting, but I don't like a lot of the dark academia tropes. But it doesn't necessarily count a book out for me. I think that might also be where I sit with me saying like I don't like the academia. Wow. The academic setting is I don't relate to it at all.
Yeah.
Like I'm so far removed. I didn't really go. I don't have a desire to go back or like to do it. Where I feel like if I had something that I was reaching for, like a goal and a place and something I wanted to do, like you kind of romanticize that, or like I want to be there.
Yeah.
I don't have that with this. Like you said, you considering going back to school, I would imagine gives a little bit of like, oh, like being on campus and like learning again. Like you
like
romanticize it a little bit.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, I do not want to be learning. Yeah, so like with an Academy for Liars, there was no message. It was so pointless, but the vibes were very velvety chairs, mahogany stairs. I like that, etc. But I'm like, okay, but why are we doing this? Yeah. So I mean, I just think that's being like atmosphere, like being a character reader or an atmosphere reader or a plot reader. Different strokes for different folks, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I really liked that.
It is very nice.
I like that. Oh, I hate velvet. Interesting take. Yeah, I think I would have liked the book more if it was from Rachel's POV, like as an unreliable narrator or something.
I kind of disagree with this. Oh. I think it could have been interesting. Like, I think it just would have been a totally different book. Like, obviously, but like, I think the what I liked about having it from Anne's perspective is that she's this like outsider that's being dragged into this. Like, she wants to be in this world, but she's also kind of being dragged into it by these people who we see them through her eyes, and they're so like romanticized, and you don't see who Rachel is until
or like who she's showing to different people.
Yeah, because you're seeing her through Anne, who thinks she's so cool.
Yeah. I forget who she's talking to at the point, but at some point she's like, me and Rachel are working on this together, and the person's like, you might think that you're doing it together, but that's not how Rachel sees it. Where I think that was a big moment for Anne of like, oh.
Yeah. Like, we get to kind of see Anne figure out that she's been entranced by this group of people.
Like, maybe I'm being played.
Yeah.
I don't know what I said, but I'm happy you thought it was true. This reminded me of an interesting facts about Friends, if anyone wants a comp title. Doesn't have the tarot aspect, but has a group of unreliable people. I mean, you have to tell us now. Oh, wait.
I'm like, did you mean
a book called Interesting Facts About Friends?
She said it's the wrong name.
Okay. Tell us the right name. This reminds me of when we read, I think, maybe you didn't read this with us. We read Portrait of a Thief for book club.
Yeah, I didn't. I think that was maybe before I joined, or I didn't get to
this
that one.
Reminds me of that, where it was like the premise was like, ooh, heist, like and even kind of the same, where it was like a group of people, and then we were all like, the premise sounds so good, and I think just who we are as readers, I think the same people were kind of like, it didn't land.
I'm actually curious what the summary says. Oh, okay. So the Goodreads summary, at the end of the Goodreads summary, it says, it kind of gives away the whole plot, which I feel like doesn't happen until much later. It says there's an unexpected and devastating death, and suddenly everyone becomes a suspect. And I feel like if I don't usually read summaries before I go into books. Like, I kind of know the vibes, but I don't really know what's going on. And I think if I had been waiting for that, I would have been really disappointed.
I think that if you're going to put that in the premise, it has to be like the first couple chapters. And I do read the premise for book club, because I try to read it and pitch it to other people to be like, this is what this book we're reading this month is about. Where I think if you're going to say there's a death, like that almost has to me, that's like, we're kicking off the plot with a death. And I agree that it happened way too late here. And to like almost pitch the book as a mystery for then it to be pretty slow in the beginning is also like, it almost
feel like it's pitched wrong.
Yeah, like you're pitching it, the wrong people are going to pick it up based on the premise.
Yeah. Though also, like, I don't know how I would pitch it necessarily plot-wise. Like I said at the beginning, like, just nothing really happens until too late for that to be part of the summary.
I think to like pitch it as a dark academia. I just feel like it's classic dark academia because every dark academia I've read also has the like mystery plot twist that this like group has to figure out. I just feel like it's just straight up classic dark academia.
Though, like I'm not going to spoil The Secret History. I'm just going to talk about it. Though I feel like most of us here have read it.
I have.
That, like, there is a death really that's like an important death that's like kind of late in the story, but they tease it at the very beginning.
Yeah.
There's like almost like a prologue that like teases it so you know what you're going towards.
Yeah. I'm going to look up this book. The Things We Do to Our Friends, because I don't like recognize it.
I just looked it up. It's set in Edinburgh.
Oh. I've never
That actually looks really good.
I also, which I think is also kind of a dark academia thing, because it's kind of like this is technically new adult, but nobody wants to call anything new adult. And I do feel like it felt written like a YA.
This did?
Yeah, I thought. I thought it read like a YA. Which I also think might be where Ruby's hiccup is, because I know that she typically doesn't enjoy YA. And like just the reading experience to me felt like a YA.
I don't know if I didn't feel that, but
would you agree that this should be called new adult? I feel like people hate that like title so much, and I don't know why. I think
I don't think that it's necessary.
Oh,
as a title. Like, I don't think it needs to be separated out at all.
Ooh. Okay. It was too classic dark academia, though. There were too many straight lines between this and the mother of the genre, Secret History, in my opinion. That's her. I read a review. I'm sorry. This might not be like linearly whatever I should talk about this.
Okay.
But I screenshotted a review. Because the whole review, it was a 2-star review. And it made me giggle. And it just said, if the characters were 50% more gay and the plot was 1,000% more interesting, this would have been a really good book. Like, the review gives nothing, but okay. But. Really? I thought The Secret History was like way too pretentious, which is the genre, but
I want to reread The Secret History because I read it so long ago and I did love it at the time, but I feel like I would have a different take on it now. But
I read it for a book club, and I'm trying to think what like an online book club, like somebody read it, and I don't remember. It might have been, but that doesn't feel right. Like, it might have been Kayla's, but that doesn't feel right. That's why I literally just pointed to my shirt. Thank you, Danielle. I think that new adult is a thing and should exist and shouldn't be shamed. It should exist as like a thing to enjoy. Yeah, she did read us quite young and immature. Like, I kept forgetting her age because it's because she was so like the desire for people to like her just felt young. Or like it felt like her first like emergence into adulthood. Like, she didn't necessarily know how to take care of herself. Like, I think that just makes somebody seem young.
Yeah, I feel like it could have been that she was a college freshman and like she got this internship, or like she's doing research with a professor or something. Like, I feel like that could have been the same story.
What Ruby said right here, I think is good. And probably true. Like, her acting young was because she was from a small town and coming to a big city. But, I don't know. I feel like I don't have the wherewithal to grasp that. Secret history is the blueprint for pretentious. Yes, affection. Yeah. That's fair. As a small town kid from out west, I would have made a lot of similar choices. I mean, I think like some of the naivety could be that. It's all similar. Like learning a world you're not used to can be because you're young, or also just because you've never have not experienced it. Any like plot points we should talk? There's a lot of people here talking. I feel like we're just reading comments and discussing through. It's fine, but
I don't know.
I mean, were you like really shocked by anything at the end, or like were you like how intrigued were you by the mystery?
I was not super intrigued by the mystery. I feel like no, I mean, not in a bad way, just like it wasn't what was driving me reading. And like even at the end when like we're getting all these answers, I feel like I could have told you that Rachel did it, like
which is again why I kind of feel like it was like lame. You hope that they're gonna like mislead you. Which, like, there was a little bit of like, is it Leo? But like, I didn't feel it in my heart.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think through everything else that happened. Like, what about the end about Rachel? That felt
that she killed her parents?
Yeah.
I feel like that, I mean, I think that was a fun addition. Like,
was it Elsa who said in the chat, in the Discord chat, like, seems like Rachel has her hand in a lot of. Somebody said that.
Yeah, that was Elsa, I think.
Yeah. I think they dwelled too much on Rachel and the professor guy's weird relationship to keep the intrigue of the mystery.
Maybe, yeah.
I would have been,
I'm curious.
It is a debut, so I don't want to bash her too much for like not like wrapping up her plot too tight, because I do think that's like a craft that you're gonna learn as you write more books. How to like keep intrigue to different things throughout, but do you think that what's the I can't keep my train of thought to even ask the question I want to ask. There's a Lisa Jewell book, which like straight up is a mystery, but that's kind of dark academia. And I was going to say, like, do you think that's like technically fully a dark academia?
What is it?
I'm trying to think what book it was.
I've only read one Lisa Jewell, and I don't think it's
the one where like a young girl goes missing and there's something to do with like I don't want to spoil anything too bad, but I'm pretty sure it's been a while since I read the book, that they find out somewhere without that she was like talking to a professor.
Yeah, that's not the one I read. So I don't know what you're talking about, really.
So that might be the second, Lisa. That might be the second Dark Academia I actually liked, if that's considered Dark Academia. I'll try to find which one it was. I'm pretty sure Ruby read it. The night she disappeared.
Oh yeah, that's on Ruby's. Isn't that the one on Ruby's like favorites list?
Oh, is it?
I think so.
Okay, well you should read that one. I don't have much other thoughts.
Honestly, me neither. I just like kind of generally liked it because it was my vibe.
Yeah. Which I'm like also acknowledging.
Yeah. But I also like agree that it was like kind of a nothing plot and also kind of Anne was a nothing character.
But if it's for you, then it's for you.
Yeah. Like I don't disagree with you. I just liked it.
Like, would you agree though that like as a book it's not like the most you weren't like super impressed by anything or wouldn't like
no
like
I mean it was only 4-star.
Right.
Like it wasn't perfect for me,
but it was fun.
Danielle's comment is funny.
I feel like you're seeing the comments like briefly before even I am. I feel like they could have started doing ballet and I would have been like, makes sense, this is Lizzie. Yeah. I feel like I see ballet as like an academic thing. Like even though it's not.
It's I mean, I feel like it has like overlap of like the French words and like the
dance school. Like I feel like it's like people study ballet. Like it's taken so seriously.
It's also just like a like kind of pretentious artsy thing too.
Yeah. Yeah. Pretentious. Is there a dark ballet book? I would read that. Isn't there I think the book I'm thinking of is YA.
I'm always searching for this, Ruby.
There was like a Nina LaCour ballet book that I think was like kind of dark, but definitely YA. Like 15 years ago.
Oh, because I like Nina LaCour and I haven't read that.
I think that's the right author that I'm thinking of. There's a horror movie about ballet, Martine says. Okay, I don't know.
Oh yeah, I actually I haven't read that one, but for Herkyed, one of the prompts is that you have to read a book and then with blurbs on the back and then read the books in 3 of those blurbs. And the ballerinas, the author of the ballerinas is blurb on the back of this. And so this is going to be for Herkyed. This is my book. And I'm going to read 3 of these. And one of them is the Sanatorium, actually, which I know a lot of you guys. The Sanatorium, the Sarah Pierce. So I'm going to read that. I'm going to read The Lost Apothecary.
That makes me sad that you didn't read that with us.
I know. And I'm going to read the ballerinas.
Fun fact, we read all 3 of them, obviously, in that series, The Sanatorium. It was me, Ruby, Kayla, and Martine. And when we were reading The Sanatorium, the Sanatorium, the first one, is when I found out I was pregnant with Betty.
Wow.
Yeah. And like, so that really sticks in my mind. It's like how I got my pretentious characters fix from Burnham Wood. I feel like the ballet world could similarly be full of
it is.
a-holes. Yeah. The movie is Suspiria, if anyone is interested. I was going to say that feels like something Harris would make you watch, a horror movie.
There is a November release, like November this year, that I tried to start reading today and didn't like. And it's like a ballet book, but I like just couldn't get, I don't know if just the audiobook was bad or like I couldn't get over the writing, but yeah, it's called City of Nightbirds. I don't know if it's dark though.
I'm like so removed from books that were coming out in 2024 because I like just didn't even let my mind go there. I'm like, I've not heard of any books recently. I'm stuck in the backlist. Any other final thoughts? Should I discuss what's happening next month?
Yeah.
Okay. Next month we're reading Secret Santa by Andrew Schaefer, which was picked by Amanda from Amanda's Reading and Writing Life. I hope that's still her channel name. I'm sure you can find her if you search that. And it's like a horror Christmassy situation. I think it's going to be like purposely like a silly horror, I hope. That's the vibe it's giving me. That like somebody is given something like cursed as a Secret Santa gift. Like they're kind of, oh yeah, sorry, Martine. This month, December. But also, I do think that live show will probably end up being like into the first little bit of January. I haven't talked to Amanda about that, but based on what the date is currently and what I know I have the last couple weeks of December, I'm guessing that the live show for that will end up being a tad into January. So I'm excited that I think that's like also a unique thing compared to anything else we've read for book club. So
I have it borrowed already. I'm going to start it soon.
I think I also just finally clicked like check out. So
yeah,
should be fun. That's what we're up to. It feels like I feel like an imposter even showing up on my channel for this after being like hardly around, but
you're good.
It shall be fun. And I was supposed to be seeing Amanda at the end of December.
Like for realsies in person?
Where Chris's family lives.
Oh, yeah.
I had to cancel that trip because I've been off of work. So we were supposed to be technically meeting. I didn't even consider like we could have had a live show together, but no, I personally had to cancel going on that trip. Yeah. Oh, well. Okay. Well, thanks for reading. Thanks for picking. This was fun.
Of course.
Does it feel like I know you were so excited to choose again? So
I
now
was.
Well, now you're like, have to wait.
Yeah, I gotta wait. I don't know what I would choose next though, so I gotta think about it.
It's a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not that much pressure, but okay. Love you guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Oh.